Kuya isoho Musahruwa naikiku na hamunku Johan chispuni tu pasu Ya chai wang winyasu Kuya isoho Musahruwa.
Hi guys, so good afternoon and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite, your favorite celebrity here in the Philippines. It's 17:06 in the afternoon right now and it's Sunday. So I hope everyone is having like a really blessed Sunday. Wait lang. So today is October 27th, year 2024. Okay, we're going to continue reading kasi nagmamadali ako. I'm actually at work right now. But kaya nga nagmamadali tayo so I could go back home na. But I'm not supposed to be in here. Okay? So listen up, guys. Madaliin na natin to. But below deck and running the length of the ship were two corridors, 900 feet long. By the way, we're on to page 79 and 80 of the book Mastery. 900 feet long and quite narrow, just enough room for two passengers. This was the perfect location to practice dribbling at top speed while maintaining perfect ball control. To make it even harder, he decided to wear special eyeglasses that narrowed his vision. For hours every day, he dribbled up one side and down the other until the voyage was done. Working this way over the years, Bradley slowly transformed himself into one of the biggest stars in basketball, first as an All-American at Princeton University and then as a professional with the New York Knicks. Fans were in awe of his ability to make the most astounding passes, as if he had eyes on the back and sides of his head, not to mention his dribbling prowess, his incredible arsenal of fakes and pivots, and his complete gracefulness on the court. Little did they know that such apparent ease was the result of so many hours of intense practice over so many years. So, di ba? Hindi siya na-accumulate right away. You need intense, immense focus in order to get that skill. Perfection of skills. Right? Wait lang. Continue. Kinuha ko lang yung charger, baka makalimutan ko. So when Jack Kitts was 8 years old, his father died in a riding accident. His mother never quite got over the loss and died 7 years later, essentially leaving John, his two brothers, and one sister orphaned and homeless in London. So John, the eldest of the children, was taken out of school by the appointed trustee and guardian of the estate and enrolled as an apprentice to a surgeon and apothecary. He would have to earn a living as quickly as possible, and this seemed the best career for that. In his last few terms at school, Keats had developed a love for literature and reading. To continue his education, he would return to his school in his off hours and read as many books as he could in the library. So sometime later, he had a desire to try his hand at writing poetry, but lacking any kind of instructor or literary circle he could frequent. The only way he knew to teach himself to write was to read the works of all of the greatest poets of the 17th and 18th century. He then wrote his own poems using the poetic form and style of the particular writer he was trying to model himself after. He had a knack for imitation, and soon he was creating verses in dozens of different styles, always tweaking them a little with his own voice. So several years into these, Keats came to a fateful decision. He would devote his life to writing poetry. That was his calling in his life, and he would find a way to make a living at it. So, to complete the rigorous apprenticeship he had already put himself through, he decided that what he needed was to write a very long poem, precisely 4,000 lines. The poem would revolve around the ancient Greek myth of Endymion. So, Endymion, hindi ko sure guys yung pag-pronounce ha. Check nyo na lang. That's your only job for me, please. So he wrote, a friend will be a test, a trial of the powers of imagination, and chiefly of my invention, by which I must make 4,000 lines of some circumstances and... Oh, kalma. Uminom ng tubig. Okay? Sunday na. My God, Monday na naman bukas. Mihinga pa ba tayo, guys? Ba't matatapos na to? Right? Yeah. Tingnan natin. Circumstances, and fill them with poetry. He gave himself a rather impossible deadline, 7 months, and a task of writing 50 lines a day until he had a rough draft. So 3/4 of the way through, he came to thoroughly hate the poem he was writing. He would not quit, however willing his way to the end, meeting the deadline he had set. What he did not like about Endymion was the flowery language, the overwriting, but it was only by means of the exercise that he could discover what worked for him. In Endymion, he later wrote, I leaped headlong into the sea and thereby became better acquainted with the soundings, the quicksands and the rocks than if I had stayed upon the green shore and took tea and comfortable advice. So in the aftermath of writing what he considered to be a mediocre poem, Keats took stock of all of the invaluable lessons he had learned. Never again would he suffer from writer's block. He had trained himself to write past any obstacle. He had acquired now the habit of writing quickly. With intensity and focus, concentrating his work in a few hours, he could revise with equal speed. He had learned how to criticize himself and his overly romantic tendencies. Oh, my cat. There's a cat somewhere. So he could look at his own work with a cold eye. He had learned that it was in the actual writing of the poem that the best ideas would often come to him, and that he had to boldly keep writing or he would miss such discoveries. Most important of all, as a counterexample to Endymion, he had hit upon a style that suited him. Language as compact and dense with imagery as possible, with not a single wasted line. So with these lessons in hand in the years 1818 to 1819, before he became gravely ill, Keats would produce some of the most memorable poems in the English language, including all of his greatest odes. This added up to perhaps the most productive 2 years of writing in the history of Western literature, all of it set up by the rigorous self-apprenticeship he had put himself through. By nature, we humans shrink from anything that seems possibly painful or overtly difficult. We bring this natural tendency to our practice of any skill. Once we grow adept at some aspect of the skill, generally one that comes more easily to us, we prefer to practice this element over and over. Our skill becomes lopsided as we avoid our weaknesses, knowing that in our practice we can let down our guard since we are not being watched or under pressure to perform. We bring to this a kind of dispersed attention. We tend also be quite conventional in our practice routines. We generally follow what others have done, performing the accepted exercises for these skills. This is the path of amateurs. To attain mastery, you must adopt what we shall call resistance practice. The principle is simple. You go in the opposite direction of all of your natural tendencies when it comes to practice. Okay, period na guys. Thank you guys for listening and thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation. Medyo creepy na dito guys, so I have to go. Okay, and I will see you again. Bukas na tayo magchikahan kasi really tired, you know. Kahit Sunday, nasa workplace tayo. What is happening? But you know, it will end soon. Kaya we keep our calm to ourselves, diba? Of course, if you don't like something, why would you be in there? In that situations, business, work, places. Okay guys, wait lang ah. Medyo creepy na talaga. Lalabas na ako.
Wanajkiku na hamunku, Johanci spuni trupasu, Yachai wangwinyasu. Hakuya yizonho, Musohru wanajkiku na hamunku, Johanci spuni trupasu, Yachai wangwinyasu.